Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is August 11th, 2025, and we have an update in regards to the interest in Iñaki Peña from Como. Also, Barcelona have renewed a promising academy player. And finally, we're going to talk about whether Al Nassr are plotting a move for Ferran Torres. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. We'll begin this video with some statements by Hansi Flick. As you know, yesterday Barcelona defeated Como 5-0 in a Joan Gamper trophy match, which marked the end of the preseason for Barcelona as the team prepared themselves for the beginning of the season next weekend against Mallorca. And after the match, Hansi Flick had some interesting statements. I don't want to share all of them with you, but I do want to share the ones that I think were the most interesting, or at least to me. Now, this is what Flick said in regards to the match and to Barcelona's performance against Como. The way we played, the way we pressed was very good, but we need to improve our defense and our pressure without the ball. We're very happy with the new players. They're on the right track. The team is growing. Now, the reason I picked these statements is because, let's be honest, yesterday Barcelona had a wonderful match. I think maybe a 9 out of 10, maybe a 9.5 out of 10. The way Barcelona absolutely dominated Como, dismantled Como, scoring 5 goals, and it could have been even more, right? Rashford had a clear miss. Ferran Torres had a clear miss. Lamine Yamal, he missed one where he could have passed the ball, but instead he decided to keep it. It could have easily been 8, maybe even 10-0. And Barcelona had a really, really great performance. But Hansi Flick is not happy. He's not satisfied. He says we can still improve. And, well, I got to say, this guy's just absolutely insatiable. He's always looking for ways to improve. And, I mean, that's a hallmark of a great, great coach, because anybody could have been, like, 5-0, great match. That's nothing to talk about. And, I mean, it would have been fine. Nobody's going to criticize you for saying, hey, it was a great match. There's nothing to improve. We won 5-0 after all. But no, Flick, he's not happy. He's always looking for ways to improve. And that, is absolutely great to see, because perfection is impossible. However, you can get near perfect, but the only way to do that is to constantly improve, constantly looking for ways to get as close as possible to being perfect. Now, Hansi Flick was also asked about Iñigo Martinez, who of course has joined Al Nassr, and this is what the German coach had to say. Last season, he was a very important part of our success, but his departure will be an opportunity for other players to grow. Now, when asked whether Barcelona will sign another defender, Flick said, I'll talk to Deco when he's here and we'll see. But for the moment, I don't think so. So, of course, Flick saying, hey, Iñigo Martinez was very important, part of success. But I like the way Flick looks at it, like, hey, Iñigo was a great player, he's part of success, but his departure will leave room for other players to grow. So always looking, on how to improve, always looking for the positive spin, because, he could have just sat there, oh, no, Iñigo, he left, what are we going to do? But instead, he's like, look, he was great. He was obviously a big help, a huge part of success, but now we look to the next step. We look forward. What's the next step? Well, other players coming up in the place of Iñigo, allowing them to grow and allowing them to become as important as Iñigo Martinez was. And finally, when asked about whether Barcelona is going to sign someone, Flick kind of leaving the door open where he's saying, I'm going to talk to Deco, but at the end kind of closing it where he says, I don't think so. Now, speaking of possible signings, as you might recall, a previous video, I told you about a Argentine player named Jerónimo Spina. He's a 20-year-old left center back who currently plays for Atlético de Madrid. He joined Atlético Madrid in 2023 from Estudiantes de La Plata. So far, he's been playing in Atlético Madrid B, where he's considered one of the most promising defenders currently in the Atlético Madrid setup. And I told you that there were links that Barcelona were supposedly considering signing Jerónimo Spina, but I told you that as far as I knew from my sources was that there was no truth to this, that yes, Barcelona have been tracking Jerónimo Spina for quite some time, that yes, they do have positive reports about him, but that they weren't considering signing him. And well, lo and behold, now more media outlets confirming this today, that Barcelona have ruled out this signing, for several reasons. Number one is Barcelona already considered that one of the center backs needed to leave because they had an overbooking. So now that Iñigo has left, problem solved. Why would you go and sign someone else and go back to your original problem of having too many center backs? 2, financial fair play constraints. Barcelona are right now struggling on how to register the players we already have. They're not going to go ahead and sign someone else and add to their problems. And 3, Barcelona considered that this summer transfer market is closed. Now Barcelona are going to focus on registering the players that they sign and, of course, offloading the players that they don't want, like Iñaki Peña, Oriol Romeo, etc., etc. Now, speaking of Iñaki Peña, I do have an update about what happened with Como. As I reported before, Como are interested in Iñaki Peña. They were set to discuss the possibility of signing Iñaki Peña with Barcelona during the match, the Joan Gamper Trophy match. And well, it seems that after discussing it, after Como and Barcelona discussed this, it looks like this signing is falling a little bit apart, because it looks like both sides are significantly apart. They're not saying why. We don't know if it's a price problem, it's a salary problem, but right now both sides are not close to an agreement. And in fact, they're even saying that both sides, Como and Iñaki Peña, are already considering other options, with Como considering another Barcelona goalkeeper, Arnau Tenas, who joined PSG, and with Iñaki Peña considering his other options like Celta Vigo or Sevilla. Now, this doesn't mean that this has completely fallen apart, but as of now, it doesn't look like it's moving forward. So Iñaki Peña will consider other options. We'll see where he ends up, but Barcelona are even now considering extending the contract of Iñaki Peña, because it expires next summer, and then sending him out on loan if they cannot permanently transfer him during this summer transfer market. Now on to that next bit of news, because Barcelona have extended the contract of one of their promising players in the academy, and it's no other than Xavi Espart. Now, if you haven't heard of Xavi Espart, he's an 18-year-old versatile midfielder. He can play both as a pivot and as an interior, and he's so versatile that in fact last season he played as a right back the entire season for the Juvenil A under Giuliano Belletti, where of course, as we know by now, they went on to win a historic treble. While Barcelona have now given Xavi Espart his first professional contract. Now he has turned 18, and he has extended his contract by 3 more years until 2028. And this contract extension does come with a promotion, with Xavi Espart now will be promoted from the Juvenil A to Barca Athletic, where he will rejoin his coach from last season, Giuliano Belletti, who's now in charge of Barca Athletic, and of course in charge of getting our reserve team promoted back to 3rd division from the current 4th division that they're in. Now, we will end today's video with the news in regards to Ferran Torres, because reports started to surface yesterday and today that Al Nassr, the Saudi club who has signed Iñigo Martinez, were supposedly plotting a move for Ferran Torres. However, I'm here to tell you that there is no truth to those reports. Al Nassr have not contacted Ferran Torres. There have been no communication between the two sides, and plus, whether Al Nassr plotting a move or not, it doesn't really matter. Barcelona are not looking to sell Ferran Torres. He has become a very important player for Flick, especially now at the beginning of the season that Lewandowski is injured. Ferran Torres could be stepping in as the number 9. And of course, Ferran Torres has always made it clear that he doesn't want to leave Barcelona. Even all those transfer markets where Barcelona were trying to get rid of him, he still didn't want to leave. And well, now it's even going to be less likely that he's going to want to leave now that he has become an important player for Flick. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. I did do the podcast earlier today. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure to check it out. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, Peace, Barça.